This is Angela with Infectious magazine here at Ballyhoo. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. You guys have talked about how at this point the band is really bigger than yourselves, and destroying it would definitely impact too many people that just love what you're doing. So having that influence is a really, really powerful thing. At what point did you recognize that your actions were so influential to others' actions and emotions?
We started getting people over the last couple of years like saying things like, you know, your music's got me through so much, and you know, I'm going through this right now, or you know, I'm going through this, and it's I don't know, just it started hitting me, you know, because I write these songs, you know, on my bed, you know, and then we'll get together and we'll write songs in our practice space or whatever, and so to have people say those kind of things, it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the band, and then you know, when you start posting things on Twitter and Facebook, and you start getting, you know, reactions, things that we think are funny or whatever, and we get like opposite reactions. It's kind of like, yeah, sometimes, just every now and then, you start to realize like, oh, like people are actually kind of carrying what we're saying now. So it's like, I don't know, that's kind of when we realize like this thing's way too big, and you know, it's definitely become a lot bigger than we are, for sure.
So along those same lines, how do you feel about the idea that essentially musicians are raising today's generation?
It's very true. I think a lot of kids are looking for something. You know, they're looking for a message and somebody that's going to relate to them, whether it be a hip hop artist or alternative rock or country or whatever. Kids are looking for something to relate to, and I think it's once an artist kind of gets into a certain spotlight, like the Warped Tour, you know, or doing the bigger shows and bigger stages and stuff, I think it kind of becomes a responsibility in a way, and you need to kind of own that and make sure that you're sending them the right message and letting them know that you're there right there with them. You know, there's no reason to feel any bigger than anybody. You should feel on the same level. You know, and I feel, you know, when I met Billy Joe and Mike and Trey from Green Day when I was, you know, in my early 20s, and
look at that grin.
Yeah.
You have such a grin.
I do. They're my favorite band. So for me, you know, to actually finally meet them and knowing that I'd gotten through so much because of their music, you know, I want our listeners to feel the same way, and I think it's very important for artists to make sure that that happens. You know.
How do you manage that balance of trying to, you know, obviously stay true to yourselves and be yourself, but at the same time being aware that somebody is always watching you?
You know, it's we don't do anything out of the ordinary that really pisses anybody off, and
it's a good thing.
Yeah, you know, we can kind of be ourselves, and a lot of our friends and listeners, they understand our humor, and you know, we're Family Guy type of guys, you know what I mean, just goofy shit, and so yeah, there's nothing really crazy, you know, but we just, I mean, you got to be choosy with the things you say sometimes, you know, but that's just like anywhere else, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Now, Fuse has been, of course, streaming a lot of sets from Warped Tour and making it possible for fans who weren't able to attend to still get a taste of the action. What do you think are some of the benefits as well as hidden challenges or negatives in the constant evolution of technology?
It's crazy. I mean, you definitely, you know, people, music fans are definitely, I mean, anybody really. It's celebrities, anything. I mean, you're definitely into their lives a lot more, and you can kind of see the industry more inside perspective more than ever. It's definitely not like the '80s and early '90s when you know, Motley Crue's like, you know, blasting, you know, whiskey in each other's faces and with fire hoses and things like that.
That's not what it's like.
Yeah, it's actually not like that. I mean, we drink our fair share of whiskey, you know, but like it's definitely not like those days anymore. And I don't know. I think it's very cool that people can kind of see that, kind of have a more in touch with that side, you know, the industry and everything, and kind of see how their idols or whatever live and things like that. I think there's a point where it could get too personal. I think, you know, there needs to be a barrier at some point, but that's kind of up to the artist to kind of be discreet and you know, not give away too much information and try to lead some sort of private life still, you know.
Now, being a musician, do you listen and view and judge music differently and more critically than you might if you were just, you know, the average listener?
Not really. I just kind of take it for what it is, and I think if you take it too seriously, I mean, I think you're wasting time, like spinning your wheels. Like, you know, you like the music or you don't. You might have an opinion on certain things, but I think, I don't know, just live your life. You know, let everybody live your life. Or let everybody live their lives. You live your life. You know, you like the music or you don't, and you know, that's kind of how I feel about it.
How do you personally, as well as with the band, plan to get one step closer to changing the music industry?
I don't know. I think there is a lot of trash on the radio, and I think a lot of people will agree with me there. I think, and you know, radio is still very powerful, even in today's, you know, internet age, and I don't know. I would love to see more bands, you know, like Ballyhoo, really getting the airplay, and I don't know, bands that really have something to say. I think a lot of pop music is really shitty. I think it's just like there's not really a lot of a good message, and there's not a lot of depth, I'd say. I think there's a lot more bands out there that deserve to be given that spotlight, you know. And if we ever get to a point where we can help other artists and things like that, we will definitely do that. We like a lot of different kinds of music, and there's a lot of depth and a lot of texture that I think still needs to be seen and heard, you know.
Well, what are some unsigned or just lesser known bands that you would like our fans and readers to check out right now?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, this is crazy. These are great questions, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh man, there's the Bastard Sons out of Atlanta. One of our favorite bands, actually good friends of ours. Met them a couple years ago, and they're like this punk rock Irish whiskey drinking, weed smoking, like crazy motherfuckers. That their songs are cool as shit. They're really poppy. Every song you can sing to it, whether you know it or not. They just have that flair that you just get into it. So I would love to see those guys take off. God, there's man, we play with some great bands. Check out.
This is it. No pressure, but
yeah, I know. Check out all the bands on the House of Marley stage at the Warped Tour. There's still a few weeks left in this tour. If you're coming, find those bands. Look up the House of Marley on Facebook and Twitter. Find out who these bands are. Just look them up, man. Get them on iTunes and all that, Spotify, whatever. So many great bands, very eclectic mix on our stage this year. So, you know, definitely. Let's start there.
And then just two closer questions. If you could tell yourself 10 years ago one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh man, God.
Have I stumped you?
No. Dump that chick a lot sooner. Dump her now. That's what I would tell myself 10 years ago.
You're not married now, right?
No, I'm not. I didn't. No, it was just a bad relationship at that point. But no, just I would love to have been on the road a lot sooner than we were. We kind of were in like a hiatus, some weird kind of. We didn't really know what to do with ourselves. We had an album out, our first record, but we didn't really know. We were really young and had no idea how to take this thing on the road. So I just said back then, get yourself a van and a trailer and get your asses on the road right fucking now. That's what I would have told myself.
And then lastly, what is one question you'd like to be asked but never have been, and what is the answer?
Oh man, how much money would you like, sir?
I get that one a lot. I wonder if that's ever happened. I'd love to check back.
Seriously, like, oh my God, well that'd be a sick ass question, right?
I know. And then if
really?
they just have it in their pocket.
You're talking a blank check right now. Like and how would you handle that? I don't even know.
Wouldn't you feel guilty?
I feel like I'd be humble. I'd be like, oh, okay, like $1,000. No.
That's a good. That says a lot about you.
No, but it's like, yo, I got bills. I got kids to feed. Let's do this.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Keep supporting indie music. Thank you to all of our friends and listeners that we made along the way. You're amazing, all the hooligans out there. There's a lot of people getting a tattoo. Go ahead and get that. Send us pictures. It's been awesome seeing those. Go buy a t-shirt, hit the merch booth. Any band support. That's how they get to the next city. All the bands really appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for being there, and we're going to continue to be there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.